Okay, so my name's Claire King, and I was an addict for 22 years, starting 15 years on amphetamine, and then slowly progressed to heroin and crack cocaine. This became a part of my life in the early 90s in the rave scene, where weekend drug addiction became everyday life. For me, I found amphetamine and found that this was actually great, and I thought this is how I need to live my life. It made me feel alive, it made me feel confident. I didn't do anything without it. After that chaotic lifestyle, I became pregnant with my first child. I met his dad at the rave scene. Just shortly after giving birth to him, I started back on the amphetamine, got pregnant again, continued to take amphetamine, and shortly after I gave birth to my second boy, my children were taken into care. Chaotic lifestyle. I couldn't handle the pain of that. So for 4 years, I just took amphetamine and ecstasy every day. I ended up in complete chaos, living in caravans in fields. Before long, I was injecting amphetamine. I then met a girl who was a working girl who I went along with her and just completely ended up a broken girl. I ended up in prison. When I came out of prison, I went into the Leicester night shelter for a whole year, managed to stay clean for 6 months, and then met my little girl's dad, who was a heroin addict. He taught me how to smoke heroin, and before long I was injecting. I stood in the mirror one day because I couldn't get a vein and I was dripping with blood, and I just thought, this has got to stop. I just don't know how to stop this. I even cried out to God before I even knew him, and I ended up in a critical state, ended up with drug-induced psychosis. I ran 5.5 stone with no hair from my mum's, who I tried to strangle because I was also still taking amphetamine and methadone at the same time. I ended up collapsing outside the local police station and put into an ambulance and died from a heart attack. They brought me back round. I was gone for I don't know how long, and I had this most amazing experience. It was like a party was happening and I didn't know where I was. Before long, I was brought back round and I realised I'd died. And I came back round in the ambulance and I felt warm and just thought, where have I just been? I have no idea where I've just been. Ended up in the mental health, being sectioned for 3 months. And when I came out from there, I was put back into the streets, expecting to go into a local place where it was full of heroin addicts. And I said, I don't want to be there. I need to get well. And I walked into my local probation office where my probation officer was a Christian, and I didn't know this at the time, but she was praying for me, and at 4:30, when she was due to leave off work, she said, Claire, today I'm prepared to give my job up and take you home with me because I do not want you back in that circle. And then she gets a phone call 2 minutes later from a lady called Detty, who I now work with, who runs a Christian organisation in Loughborough and takes on the homeless and for broken people. And she gave me a chance. I decided I wanted to go to church.
That's a familiar story that a lot of us can resonate with. What was your turning point, and what service did you enter in order for you to start making the next phase of your journey?
Right, so the turning point was I met Detty that day, and I said, right, I need to come to church. Just along the way in the mental health, I was given a Bible, and just the story about drug abuse in the Gideon Bible really spoke to me. So the turning point was that my probation officer was a Christian. I met this Christian lady who gave me a chance. She put me in one of her houses, and I went to church on the Sunday, and I was saved. Gave my life to Jesus. Baptised, but soon after, I'm not going to lie, I did relapse, but I knew God's hand was on me, and I was given a chance to go to Christian rehab in Buxton, where I started my journey seriously with the Lord, and I've never looked back since. I've now...
Just for those who are still struggling either in addiction or going through recovery and wondering what life can be like on the other side, let's give them a snapshot view of how God turned things around for you and what you're doing with your life now. So what did you take out of recovery and what are you doing with yourself now?
So I took out of recovery that no matter what, Jesus will never leave you nor forsake you. Yeah. You can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. I would not be here today if it wasn't for Jesus. And I now work with a Christian organisation, the same organisation who took me to rehab, and that same Jesus is here today, tomorrow and in the future. And no matter what you've done or how bad you feel you are and how bad you feel you've got, I mean, naked in a police station, completely working girl, drugs, alcohol, everything else, no matter what you've done or where you've been in life, just know that this Jesus loves you right now, right where you are. Okay?